Graham year as part of your benefit year. Can you just talk us through firstly the sort of things that you've been doing and what particularly has brought you to Sunderland today?
Yeah, I mean, I know John, who's one of the lecturers here, and he's a massive cricket fan. So he basically open arms invited me to come along and be part of Sunderland Uni. So I mean, the year in itself is just basically trying to make as much money as you can for charity and making donations along the way. You know, we've gone from dinners to cycle rides to poker nights to golf days, and then obviously next Thursday is a big one. We've got Mark Watson coming along with some other comics for like a comedy night basically. So should be a good night. So hopefully people can come along.
And you've obviously spent your whole career really in the North East. Obviously you born here, you grew up here. I know you made a big thing about you started your career at Durham and you really want to finish your career. I know it's obviously a thing with your charities, a lot of them are locally there. So is this part of you giving back to a sort of community that has given you so much about your career as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a really good point, really. I mean, obviously me going back, 14 years, 10 years over 10 years as a professional is something I'm obviously immensely proud of. I got given an opportunity at the early stages of my career when Durham weren't doing quite as well, and Jeff Cook gave me an opportunity to basically fulfil my ambitions really and my dreams. And I'm obviously a little bit older now, and I've gone through a lot through injuries and through ups and downs and stuff. But yeah, I mean, coming towards the end of the career, I suppose, having still got a couple of years left, you're basically proud and privileged to have been at the county, which has given you a great opportunity, and to be able to have a benefit year and make money for some charities is obviously something that I'm very proud of.
And you mentioned obviously the wide sort of span of your career in Durham. What's changed much over that time? What's the biggest change would you say that's happened?
I mean, as a club, it's quite hard when you're involved all the time and you're in training and stuff. But I think the game itself has just evolved massively. The way people field the ball, the way batters, the bigger bats, and the way people hit the ball out of the park. And T20 wasn't there when I first started, and the quality of first-class cricket has gone up massively. And it's well, first of all, to stand the test of time over that period of time is something once again that I'm very proud of. And I think as a player, you constantly want to make a difference. You want to win games for your teammates and for your county. And once again, I started off as a young lad coming through, and I've done a lot of things in my career which I could have only dreamed of, really. So yeah, as I said, I'm immensely proud of what I've done, and got a few more amazing events coming up that obviously I want to try and push and try and make as much money as I can.
And they're all charities that are quite close to your heart as well, aren't they? What was it in particular when you picked those charities for your benefit here? Yeah,
I mean, I'm supporting, I'll not go through them all. I've picked four. I mean, one's a cancer-based charity, which a lot of people, Sir Bobby Robson Foundation, that has obviously been a Newcastle fan. I've got to be careful what I say in a Sunderland university, but obviously everyone's touched by cancer, or knows somebody that's touched by cancer in their life. And the other one really close to my heart, and the reason why I'm really pushing as hard as I can is to try and raise money for the special care babies. Both my kids during a tough time got a lot of help by the QE in Gateshead, where my kids were born into, really. So for me to try and give a little bit back during a tough time is what it's all about, and I suppose that's the reason why I'm really trying to make every event a good one and make it successful.
As you mentioned, the length of your career that sort of allowed you to have this year. Over your career, what would you say has been sort of the high point so far?
I think the obvious thing is obviously making your debut for England. I mean, people always say, well, obviously the pinnacle is to play for your country. I didn't think I ever would have, and I did that, and it was an amazing time in my life. To obviously play for your country is an absolute dream. But ultimately, I look back, 14 years ago, and I think I got given an opportunity by Durham to play, obviously making my debut for the county, which I love and proud to be involved with. Was obviously a massive part, but for me, the championship wins for Durham, as I said, for the reasons I've just said, it's probably my biggest highlight. I've got 3 championship medals now and a couple of one-day medals as well. So because I got given an opportunity for Durham, they are the most important for me, really.
And obviously, I know in the media at the moment, sport in general, or certainly other sports, are getting a bit of a hard time in terms of the North East. Looking around Sunderland and the North East wider, what would you say the state of cricket is like at a lower level, and the next stars coming through? What do you think? Where's the game going to go in the next few years in the North East?
I mean, looking away from the north, obviously, nobody knows where the game's going to go. You know, it keeps on just getting faster. Guys are getting stronger. The ball's going further out the park, and seem to be bringing the boundaries in and all sorts really. So the game's obviously changing a hell of a lot really. I think sport in the North East, it's up to I suppose people like myself and other legends in the North East to try and kind of push the sport, keep on improving, whether or not that's women's cricket or men's cricket or junior cricket really. I'm very I suppose passionate about that, and it's up to people like myself to do some coaching, try and get in there, get into universities and schools, and just try and get people to keep on enjoying it and loving the game of cricket, because it's a good way to keep fit, it's a good way to meet people, and whether or not that's at a professional level or I suppose a fun level really. And I can see the game getting, I suppose in a way, getting stronger and stronger as long as we keep on promoting and giving people opportunities.